Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. My apologies, I did not post a video yesterday. I spent a good bit of the day playing in the tournament for Gettysburg, the Tide Turns. And I'm happy to say that I did win my first round match. And I've moved on to the semifinals. I'm now in the top 4 for that, so I'll let you know how that goes. Maybe I'll even shoot a little bit of the video, but it's kind of hard to make a video for that when you're taking turns over the course of a day. So, not sure if I'll be able to do that or not, but if I'm able to, I will. But what you do in that tournament basically is we were playing on the first day, and you play 2 matches, one as the Union, one as the Confederates, and then they combine the score of how you did in those 2, and I was able to win both sides of that match. So I move on to the next round. All right, so anyway, we are on to the Battle of Laurel Hill on the Confederate Campaign of Ultimate General Civil War. This is Brigadier General difficulty. Laurel Hill is kind of the beginning stages of the Battle of Spotsylvania Court House, which was the next part of the overland campaign by General Grant as he moved with the Army of the Potomac under General Meade toward Richmond. There was basically a race to get to Spotsylvania Court House first between the 2 armies. Neither one of them knew the other one was in the middle of trying to get there first, and they ended up running into each other at this farm that has come down to be known in history as Laurel Hill, even though the battle was not actually fought on a hill called Laurel Hill. Laurel Hill was nearby, and it was actually the name of a house, if I understand what I've read correctly. So, that all said, as you can see, I've got a big task ahead of me here. Outnumbered by about 37,000 men, almost 2 to 1. He's got 3 times the guns that I do. And to be completely honest with you on this one, unless I can get really lucky, I'm not even going to try and win the battle. Now, that's going to cost me some prestige points. But it's only about a difference of, I think you get 12,500 reinforcements for winning, you get 10,000 for a draw. And the problem with this one is, even though I'm outnumbered significantly, I'll easily hold my ground. I'm not worried about that. The problem is you have to advance and take the objective up here in order to win. And that's next to impossible when you're outnumbered as significantly as I am. Now, fighting defensively, I expect I should be able to hold him off. I think I'll probably end up closing the gap in numbers, and I think probably by the time it's all said and done, we'll probably have about the same number of men on the battlefield, but I don't think that's going to be enough to actually win. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some changes to what I'm bringing into the battle to start. But I am bringing a couple of units of cavalry, in fact 3 units of 750 cavalry, and what I'm going to try to do is, if I see an opportunity at the last minute, I may try to sneak my cavalry out around here and try to take the objective at the last second, just get lucky that way. But as far as a major advance to take the objective, I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think I have the troops to make that happen without losing way too many of them. Alright, I'm going to send most of my force over to this side here. Send a little bit up here, and then it's just really a matter of just holding the ground as best I can. The ones that are going over here, I'm going to actually run them, even though it's going to make them exhausted, because it's kind of a race, and he's going to get there pretty quickly, so I want to make sure I've got men in position to defend as quick as I can. I gotta keep an eye on their condition, though. Alright, slow them down for a minute. And here comes his first brigade. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pull these smaller units off the line and put my big 3-star guys there. I'm going to do the same here. Of course, 1864 is when you start to see fortifications playing a major role in these battles. That's part of why you start to see so much bloodshed, because you have these major waves of assaults happening against strongly fortified positions at places like Cold Harbor, Spotsylvania. Petersburg. Now we're going to easily rout these forces initially. It's really not even an issue. The hard part comes when you have to advance. So right now you can see I'm outnumbered 48,000 to 20,000. But he's already lost 2,000 men to my 130. And he just got some reinforcements. It's now 60,000 to 20,000, so he's got me 3 to 1 at the moment. So one of the things that Grant did in 1864 was, number one, he, I think, was the first Union overall commander to successfully coordinate all of his armies and think big picture in terms of strategy. So he's moving all of his different armies in the west and the east kind of in concert to each other. Trying to put pressure on the Confederates so that they can't go bouncing from one army to the next, defeating one and then go and fight another, because they're all coming from all sides. In order to do that, there are all these forts that ring the city of Washington, D.C., and most of them are garrisoned by these units they call the heavies. They're heavy artillery regiments. And they've got like 2,000 men in one regiment. My wife's ancestor was actually in one of them. He was in the 2nd Pennsylvania Heavy Artillery. And he pulls all these huge regiments that are basically the size of brigades out of the forts, and he puts them into the field as infantry. And so it was units like my wife's great-great-great-grandfather in the 2nd Pennsylvania Heavy Artillery who make these assaults on some of the fortified positions at places like Petersburg. In fact, her ancestor ended up, I think it was the Battle of Chaffin's Farm, around Petersburg. He was wounded in the leg, captured by the rebels, had to have his leg amputated by a Confederate surgeon, was briefly sent to Libby prison, and then ended up being released. I'm going to send Torbert up here and have him replace the 3rd South Carolina. I want to start getting some units down here on this flank as well. See if I can get up here and harass some of this artillery. Alright, let's get Meredith up here. He's throwing everything he's got at this side right now. Alright, casualty-wise, we're looking at, he's lost 7,000 men. I've lost 800. See what's happening up here. Alright, so far so good. O'Hare's Ohio Outlaws, 643 kills, 30 deaths. Torbert, 147 and 57. He just got into line, though. Paper Collar Brigade, 930 kills and going up to 120 deaths. Get Brooke up here so I can start getting into the flank of some of these guys. But like I said, unless I really think there's going to be an opportunity when it comes to the next part of this battle, I don't think I'm going to make a push for that objective. I might just try to sneak around with some cavalry if I can. Harlan's 1,300 kills, 148 deaths. Oh, Torbert actually got knocked out of his position. I'm going to send Haney over there to back them up. I'm going to keep one eye on supply here. Looks like we're good at the moment. Alright, my next batch of reinforcements are on their way. I'm at least going to get these guns right here taken care of. Oh, here comes this cavalry. Alright, back off, guys. Let's at least get one more brigade up here to be safe. Got our 24-pounders coming in. Yeah, get out of there, guys. Alright, we got some ammo concerns up here. Let's deal with that. Orphan Brigade's starting to get low. Understandable considering they've caused almost 1,800 casualties. So I got myself in a real pickle over here because I assaulted that battery and then ran into a bunch of his cavalry. Who are now going to get to Brooks' rear, and that's going to cause a problem for him. So let's get him turned around for now. I just lost a lieutenant general killed. Harland, probably one of my division commanders. Oh, this is going to be ugly. General Brooke was killed in the engagement with the cavalry. So that was a definite mistake on my part. I wasn't anticipating him having 3 units of cavalry out there. I should have waited until I was in a stronger position to get out on that flank. I'm sending help, but not before Brooks is going to have lost several hundred men. Alright, here comes the last part of the battle now. This is where they're going to tell us that we need to advance and take Alsop's fields, which is never going to happen. Alright, let's see what's going on up here. They just came in at Torbert. I got to make sure Torbert doesn't get sucked into that. Alright, there's the last of my reinforcements. I'm going to send them over this way. Casualties at this point. He's lost almost 19,000. I've lost a little over 3,000. And I will at least move up this flank some and try to cause some more casualties, but all his artillery's back here, so I got to be really cautious. Oh, there's General Custer making a valiant charge in which his unit was completely wiped out. That's familiar. at the very least, I'm going to greatly reduce the size of his army, but as we've seen previously, that doesn't seem to matter a whole lot. He's just going to replace him with a bunch more men. I'm going to push these guys out to over here, try to clear that cavalry out. And then get my own cavalry up here. Alright, we got an ammo issue up here. These supplies are out because they resupplied the artillery. Okay, so let's make sure everybody's got decent supply over here. It seems like they do. So let's send the supply all the way over and help Ohio Outlaws who desperately need ammo. Because they've caused 1,700 kills and only 95 deaths. Paper Collar Brigade right in the center of things over here, doing greatly as well. Doing great, I guess. 1,900 kills, 200 deaths. I'm going to pull these guys out because they're almost out of ammo. Alright, I think we've got the cavalry cleared out. Make sure there's no weak spots on the line. I think we're good everywhere. Once I get these guys some ammo, because they're officially out. It's going to take a while for the ammo to get there, though. That's right, they're facing a unit with low ammo as well. Alright, start pressing forward little by little here. I know using cavalry in the woods isn't necessarily the best thing, but his are there too. Alright, hold up, guys. His advantage over me is down to just 8,000 men from a starting advantage of almost 30,000. See what he's up to up here. Where's the supply? It's getting there. Come on, O'Hare. I'm just hoping you'll hold out a little while longer. It's coming. I know I'm under fire from a lot of artillery here, but I'm afraid to move up too far, too fast. I'd rather he keeps throwing his units at my fortifications. If I start moving this line up, he may just shift over and start attacking me in the open, and I really don't want that. I'll wait until he's as weak as possible. Oh, Harry's finally going to get his supply. Yeah, the advantage is now just 6,300 men. Unless something happens, this will be the first battle I don't win in this entire campaign. But I'm pretty content to settle for a draw here. Most of my higher ranked units that are 2-star and above already have really good morale, so I'm not all that concerned about taking the prestige hit that'll drop my morale, because most of my units are going to be in great morale anyway. Alright, there's not a lot coming this way, so I think I might start to shift this line up ever so slightly. Just being cautious, because I don't want to move up too fast and run into something I can't deal with. Alright, now he's just got a 4,200 man advantage. Most of his artillery's out of ammo. Alright, now it's just a 2,600 man advantage. I'm about to have more men on the field than him. But that doesn't mean go crazy in advance. Because I think that would still end badly for me. And it looks like he's starting to shift his men from his right flank over to the center and the left. Alright, I want to wipe this cavalry out once and for all. I just took out one of them. And there's two of them. Not your finest hour there, Phil Sheridan. Hour and a half to go. I now have more men than him. He's lost 32,000. I've lost 6,000 almost. See, this is where I get tempted to be greedy. I want to jump on all these batteries and take them out. But he's got this one infantry unit here, so I got to be cautious. I'm going to hold Powell up here just to cover my flank because I know he's going to come down with his cavalry. Here he comes. Alright, we're going to have a big melee fight right here. See if I can get Meredith up in support. See, he's got fortifications now, so now it's me that's attacking fortifications. That's why I got to be cautious. So much artillery back here. That's what worries me. Who surrendered? Oh, nice. Get him out of there. Look at all the blue right here. Jeez. See, this is where now you get sucked in and you get tempted to go for it all, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to slaughter my men and lose twice as many casualties in the last hour of the fight. Unless I really think there's an opportunity. And I'm just not sure that there is. Get these Texas boys back. See, because right now he's lost 34,000 men, probably more than that when you count missing and broken units. I've lost 6,000, and I know he's still got 325 guns. I just don't want to tempt fate. I'm going to go ahead and send another brigade over here just because. They're still fighting it out up here. Good. I like to see him still sending units that way. Slow down, Harlan. Save your strength. Grider's low on ammo. Gotta be cautious with him. Kind of hold him right where he is. Let's get the cavalry up here. Look at all of this artillery. That's crazy. I can charge with my cavalry, but they're going to get lit up by canister fire. If there's a chance to win the battle by sacrificing my cavalry this way, then I think that's probably a chance I'll take. Only one of them is 2 stars, the rest are 1 star. I've intentionally not really spent a ton of money on my cavalry for that reason, so that I could sacrifice them where needed. Wish I could turn the map a little bit. I feel like I'm leaning in order to see what's happening here. Cobb's Legion. Whoa, back off, guys. Alright, I'm sending the Texas Brigade in too. I want to try and neutralize as much of this artillery as I can. Yeah, I've got a 4,500 man advantage at this point. Alright, let's pull them out. Come on, Post. Get out of there. Pal, you too. See, now I'm behind the fortifications, so in theory, they shouldn't be getting the advantage, the benefit of those fortifications. I'm not sure how the game figures that, though. Alright, let's rest up the cavalry, and we're going to save them for one desperate attempt to take this objective when the time comes. I don't know what he's got over there, though. $30 minutes. So what I'm hoping here is, and there he's putting Carroll on that spot, I'm hoping this will be one of those battles where I can just jump on the objective at the last second, and even while it's still contested, it'll let me win that way. Got him folded up like a pretzel here. I know these guys are low on ammo, but I can still get them up there and use them. Alright, I am going to advance a couple brigades out just because he's starting to throw everything over this way to protect his objective. Which makes sense. 22 minutes left. Yeah, it's going to be tough to jump in there now because he's just throwing everything up that way. And I'm not going to recklessly press this. Hoping maybe bringing these guys out of the fortifications draws at least some of his men. Whoa, Grider, where are you going, bud? Back up a little bit. Wow, a lot of his units have broken. I have an 8,000 man advantage now. Just don't think I'm going to have enough time. I think if I had another hour, I probably could do this. Because by then, he probably wouldn't have much left. Yeah, he's throwing everybody over there. Understandably so. I'm not going to have enough to be able to overwhelm thousands of men plopped on that objective. But we're going to give it one little valiant try here and probably lose all my cavalry in the process. Yeah, we're gonna finish it up here. This is not gonna happen, and I'm not gonna sacrifice. Oh, you're gonna let me play on? Okay. You know what? Not worth it. All right, so we got a draw at Laurel Hill. But here's what I like about this. inflicted 41,000 infantry casualties at a cost of 8,000. Took out 4,200 of his artillerymen, 2,300 cavalry, another 300 missing, at the cost of less than 10,000 men for myself. What I don't like is inflicting 40,000 casualties and not having that many guns to show for it. I wish there could have been a whole lot more. I'd love to have seen maybe 15,000, 20,000 Harper's Ferry, 1855 sitting here after that. But there you have it. Let's see how this affects the Battle of Cold Harbor. They're only giving him 8,000 more men. So he's down to 96 to 100,000, so that's at least good. Of course, the bad news is I didn't get that hit to his army. So let's... Cold Harbor the first day, he's not going to have that much anyway. So it's going to be kind of hard to tell. Alright, so he's going to have 20,000 on day one of Cold Harbor. I've got to get myself refit and ready to go. Let's see what my army's going to look like overall. Right now I've got... So what can I take, about 70,000? Let's see, 37, 47, 55. Yeah, I'm looking at about 70,000 men, but I'm completely out of reputation to spend, or nothing I can spend it on anyway. So about 70,000 men I'll be able to take into Cold Harbor. I think I can work with that. I think I can make that enough. As always, I welcome your input, your comments, your observations. I think, thinking back to the battle I just fought, maybe starting that flanking maneuver on the right side a little sooner and destroying his army a little quicker and being more deliberate with that and making sure I had enough supply there. I think I probably could have pushed through to a victory with a little more time. But that at least gives you some idea as to how to make that work even when you're vastly outnumbered. You just got to kind of be patient and wait until you inflict enough casualties on him that he just can't hold you off. So that's my thought. That's what I did there. I certainly love to hear what you have to say about it. And we'll try to come back again in another day or two with the Battle of Cold Harbor. As always, if you'd hit that thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.